Alright, in this video I'm going to review a pretty highly anticipated release from the House of Alexandria Fragrances. This is Aromatic Conflict Black. A few of you had asked me to review this. This is Alexandria's version of Interlude Black Iris. So the original Interlude was called the Blue Beast by some people. It was a very kind of well received fragrance that, to be honest with you, was kind of surprising to me, because most of the hyped up fragrances in the fragrance community tend to be the mass appealing, compliment getting, fragrances. And this was not. So Interlude is a very dark, incense, mysterious fragrance with this very spicy, kind of earthy opening that can be very off-putting. It's a projection monster. Longevity is crazy, so it lives up to the Blue Beast name. Now, it's not a blue fragrance. It's very dark. It comes on a blue bottle. So I guess that's the name came from. So Black Iris, well, Interlude, man, let me talk about that for a minute. It has this opening, the earthy opening I was talking about, spicy opening. It has oregano, a very unique note to have in a fragrance. Oregano is also very kind of divisive note. It's very, you either like it or you don't. So it's very interesting they chose to put that in the opening of a fragrance, in the sense that if you're going for compliments, if you're going for mass appeal to sell your fragrances, and again, this is a niche fragrance, so they don't have that in mind as much, but it still is there because you obviously want to sell your fragrance. You're usually not going to put stuff like oregano in there, especially not in the opening. Okay, so not only is it in there, but it is very prominent in the opening. So Interlude has this just in-your-face oregano. Literally, it smells like you rubbed oregano on your face, with a big, like in the opening, with this like almost like frankincense behind it. You got that church incense smell with oregano. It's a very unique smell. Very Middle Eastern smell, like style fragrance. I was surprised to see how well received it was in the community, to be honest with you, for those reasons. It's just such a kind of polarizing fragrance. Anyway, Amouge came out with Interlude Black Iris. Okay? And now Black Iris, as the name implies, actually has an iris note to it. And the other thing they did is they really toned down that oregano in the open. It's still there, though. It's still there. So I'm going to spray this for you. Give you my thoughts on it. What I think about it. Smell it from here. Very strong. Incense, very strong. Oregano's there as well. Now, when you get close to it, you can smell the iris. It's that very kind of like Dior Homme intense iris, but it's toned down. The main thing you still get is the oregano in the opening and the incense. So while the oregano is certainly toned down to be much less, in your face, it's still there. So if you hate oregano and you think, well, Black Iris is supposed to, be toned down, I think I'll get this because maybe I'll like this version. Maybe you like the incense, maybe you like the rest of the fragrance, you just don't really like the polarizing opening. I hate to tell you, but this still has it, okay? Now, the iris does, to me, make it a more mass-appealing fragrance. Kind of pulls away from that off-puttingness of you know, the heavy incense. But the heavy incense is still there. Very much a church incense. And the oregano is still there. It's dark, it's mysterious, it projects, it performs. Okay, this is definitely unique. It's definitely going to make you stand out if that's the type of fragrance you like to wear. If you don't care, and you want a bold fragrance, this will do it. The iris makes it more classy smelling, even seductive if you find somebody who's into this type of fragrance. I will say though, this is not for me. I did not like the original Interlude Man because of the oregano. I thought this would, I thought at the time it was the oregano, but now I think to me it's more than the oregano, because the oregano really starts to die down as it dries down. It's the heavy incense. I think that's kind of off-putting to me. It just dominates the rest of the notes to the point where it almost just smells like you're wearing incense. Like I said, you get the iris, but you got to be close. I don't really pick it up in the sillage. The oregano does dry down. It just kind of smells like an incense bomb. Okay, projection performance are great. But this is nothing to talk. I'm not talking bad about Alexandria's version. I'm just not a fan of the fragrance itself. So this is a no for me. I am going to sell this or swap it. And if anybody is a fan of Interlude Man Black Iris, let me know. Like I said, I will be swapping this one. But you don't know it until you try. So yeah, but this is definitely a no for me. If you're somebody again who thinks that this is going to be drastically different than the original, which is, I guess, it was dumb of me to assume anyway, it would be that different because it is a flanker. But this is just, it's not. It's too close to me. I think this could be done very well. If they tone down, I think they should get rid of the oregano altogether. I think if they took this fragrance, the iris, amped up the iris, toned down the incense, and then got rid of that opening with the oregano and replaced it with something like vanilla. Oh man, I think this vanilla incense. I mean, there's fragrances like that. I get it, but I think that would smell great. Maybe add in some leather. But anyway, like I said, it's not for me. So this one's a no. I'm not a huge fan of it. It does perform, it does project though. And if you're a huge fan of incense, I do think you would enjoy this.